Today, I thought we'd start a new thing that we haven't done before, and that is a human body fit test. Now, most of you will find that you are a little bit shorter than I am. I'm 6'4", and your wingspan may not be the 6'6" wingspan that I have, but you should be able to see from putting me in the picture if it'll work for you to move around the outside and the inside of this MDC USA trailer. Now this one is specifically the XT17HRT, and if this video goes well, maybe we can find other trailers around Princess Craft for you to do this whole body fit test, this is a working name, sort of video. Let's check this one out. Welcome to the inside of the XT17HR Family from MDC USA, and here I am in the entry area, and this is the kitchen. So let's take a look at my height and my wingspan here. I have a little bit of headroom. Now I'm 6'4", but when I'm in my shoes, it's a little bit more like 6'5". And this is good if I'm gonna do the chicken dance. It works pretty good, but obviously if I'm gonna spread out, I'm gonna have to go sideways for that 6'6" wingspan. It is a good amount of space for the kitchen. Now I'm going to show you this right here. The entry door is right behind me. So you might just want to be aware of the step down, step up. If you're turning to have a conversation on the other side of the trailer, watch that step backwards. It could be a surprise to you. However, here we are. Can I cook here in this space? You know, if I could cook, I probably could. I'm pretty good at making the coffee in the morning. I can make toast, I can make eggs, I can do some of those meal packs that you add water and heat up over the stove. So I can do the basics. Now my wife, however, she is 6 foot, and I think that this would work quite well for what we typically do on our outings and with our kids as well. So here it is. I can get down to the window. I can see what I have. I think what I have more access to than most people is I can see very well into the overhead cabinets. So I will remind you that really trick really good button style latches. They're out of the way, they lock. When they're out, you still can't get in unless you mechanically turn it, and that's how that works. So there we go. In the kitchen space, I will say I might have a little bit more issue with the storage just because of my angle. It's not that big a deal. I live the 6'4" life. So storage is good, nice and deep. If you have an easier time getting down low than I do, then maybe even better. But I do want to call attention to the fact that it's a very useful space, a good amount of storage, and everything works well. Let's move into the main cabin a little bit. Sorry for how loud that was. Bad news. Did I mention I'm not a very good cook? Your hot pocket is not ready. However, not a bad place. Let's just pretend I'm my dad's height. Okay? At about my dad's height, I would admit that that's probably going to be a little up there for more people. Let's say we're PJ's height. That might be a little bit of a problem, but I have seen PJ stand on her tippy toes. And a lot of you don't actually use the microwave that much when you're camping anyways. That might not be that big a deal. It could just be Furrion storage. This is where people see differences in measurements for interior height. Some companies will say to the ceiling height, and some companies will measure to the lowest point of something attached to the ceiling, which is usually the interior part of your air conditioner. So yes, I will hit my head on that. Most of you will not, but it does allow for easy control. See, I'm ducking a little bit here. Easy control of the switches and dials. Most people are going to find that at this level, kind of in that 5'10", 5'8", 7, 8, 9, 10 kind of range, this is really doable. And same thing for all the storage and access all the way around. It really is a comfortable space. Countertops, for me and my height, this is still very useful. It's really a residential height is what I would find in my house. Is pretty similar here and back here. Good storage here. Again, it's what I like about this storage is this is the trailer from them that has the pull-out tray system that can come inside for use or outside for the outside kitchen, and I love it. Obviously inside it's a lower level to my hip, but let me see if I can fit in this dinette. Again, 6'4", fairly long legs, and here we go. Okay, I slid in. My knees did not hit the support here. There is a little bit of a channel down here, and I think anyone of any height is going to run into that. I can't put my foot on it. My knees are too tall, so I think that's going to be something. This is a sleeping space. It's not going to be as long for me. Tell you what, I'm going to get into one of the bunks here, as silly as that sounds, and show you what I look like in that, because really the bunk is pretty much the same length as this turned into a bed. So be right back. Now typically I would put my kids in the bunks, obviously, but just for reference, here's an adult of my stature in here. Now I love this because, I mean, they have a fan, they have my utility 12-volt ports back here and things like this. This does fold up, so I could get more headspace. I could gain a little bit of a seating space here. So that's pretty cool. But I'm gonna lay back real quick. And let's see. My feet are on the base and my head is here. I would recommend this for someone probably maybe 5'10" or less. I got myself out of my little napping, my repose over there, and let's check out the main sleeping space. Now this is a inner coil spring mattress. Now this is east to west, okay? So it's not north to south, it's not a walk around, but in a 17-foot trailer that has bunk beds, a dinette that's a pretty good sized dinette, and it's a sleeping conversion, all that. I expect nothing less. This makes sense. Plus the bathroom's pretty good size in this trailer too. So I'm gonna roll my head this way and let's just see where the feet end up.
Roll your head the other way.
I just rolled my head that way and Caitlyn did not like the view I gave the camera, so we're gonna roll my head this way. All good and well. Keep it safe for the children. All right. I have, I think, somewhere around 6 inches below my feet right now. This isn't your standard depth pillow. It works perfectly fine, but if I had a standard depth pillow, I would be probably closer to 4 inches at my feet. Decent wingspan. You do have a little bit of a contact point here, so depending on how you sleep, you might be against this, which is kind of plush, or you might be up against this. Just be aware of that. It's not that big a deal. Good storage there. Lights, ports, you have that on both sides, so you could sleep with your head over there. And I like this vent right above me. It has a lighted bezel, and it has a screen, it has blackout shade, and from here, it opens if you do one step more than I did, where you unlatch it. Let's see if I can get there. Lift it up. Fresh air, which is very welcome today here in Texas. It is stifling. All right, let's check out the bathroom space. Okay, this is the area that a lot of people are most concerned about. I am 6'4", again, about 6'5" in my shoes, and this is a good sized bathroom. Now, this is set up in our uneven parking lot, so you're gonna see this door want to do that to me. So I'll try and hold that open. But with my shoes on and about 6'5", I am actually standing straight up in this bathroom. My hair is starting to touch the bezel of this vent. This is actually a fan with a light around it. So my hair is touching while I'm in my shoes, but it's a very useful amount of space. The wingspan's fine. I have a sink in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you the knee space I have here with my long legs here in the bathroom. Not too bad. Shoulder room, okay? And a nice window right here for getting a breeze through, yelling at someone while you're in here. Kids, stop that. Don't make me come out there. See what I mean? Okay, I'm about to head outside. At 6'4", I will be using this padded entry bumper thing more often than most. You'll see it hits me right about nose high, okay? But most of you won't have that much of a problem with it. 2 steps down, handle for entry, steps, easy deployment. Let me come around the trailer this way. Remember inside, I talked about that storage that you can use inside. Well, here's the exact same pull-out tray, just on the other side. So I think it's a great place to put your pots, pans, and maybe some of your other things that make sense for cooking both inside and outside. Now for me, here's where it is. I mean, it can't get much better. I can see that it might be a little high for someone else. Not insurmountable, but why would that be? Well, because they build these things for ground clearance. On a typical trailer, you're gonna find that, I mean, a standard RV trailer out there is probably gonna be 7 inches closer to the ground. Imagine what that 7 inches could mean for all these outdoor things. But imagine what the 7 inches gains you when you're trying to pass over rough trails on maybe some dirt or Forest Service or fire service roads and things like that. You may be taking advantage of that extra clearance on the regular to get to where you want to go. So there's your trade-off. You might have to bring a folding step or something like that. This is a table, and I don't think I have it unlocked at this time. I don't, but look, it'll come to right here, right at waist high on me. So again, down to maybe a little bit more typical height, and it's going to put something right at mid-torso level. So just kind of keep that in mind. A very workable solution. Let's go down to PJ level. All right, she might just walk right on up and just lean right up against it. Something to keep in mind. Entertainment space. You're probably going to be in your lawn chairs out here anyway, so height may not matter. This is the outdoor kitchen. This is what's going to get people wondering, if you will. Now, I'm not going to set up, because we're just doing this for display purposes, I'm not going to set this up with the provided support leg. So just keep that in mind. There usually will be a provided support leg here, because this is a pretty extensive kitchen. But let's get a sense of the height of it when it is mostly deployed. The windscreen here, 3-burner stove, just like what you saw inside. And let me see, there's a release here. Oh, it's on this. Let's do that. Here we go. This is about as perfect as someone of my height could ask for. Of course, courtesy because of the lifted state of the ground clearance that is engineered into this trailer. So I appreciate this. I do believe that if you are in the more normal height range, this will feel a little bit high, a little bit tall. However, it'll feel a little bit high, a little bit tall in the great outdoors. So if it helps you to get to where you want to go, then maybe dealing with your sink and dealing with your cooking space and dealing with your prep space, maybe it's not so bad, simply because it's a little bit high for you, but you're in a location that is amazing. That's always the hope, right? So let me put this up and we'll keep on going around. Now I'm going to look at this front storage space, and this is an interesting one because it can be almost anything you want it to be, but they did put in a purpose-built tray for a 12-volt refrigerator. Right now it has all the neat gadgets and gizmos that come with an MDC trailer, so it doesn't have a refrigerator, and they don't actually supply a refrigerator from MDC because there are so many great options out there on the market that you might choose to go with the Dometic, or you might choose to go with the Camco. You might choose to go with the Iceco, or God, there's just so many great ones out there that they want you to have the chance to choose. You can use this tray for anything. Let's say you don't want the outdoor refrigerator. Perfectly fine. Look at the height of it. Think of what you might store there if it's not a refrigerator. Now, a refrigerator that takes up the whole space here is going to come up to about here. So there are going to be a significant number of people using this from a height standpoint. They're going to have to look in a little bit to see what's at the depths of their refrigerator freezer setup. Again, right now for me, I think these real tall campers are right in the sweet spot for someone in that 6 foot and higher range, because it seems like the outdoor space is just made for us. It will be tall for most average height people, but that's the give and take that you get with a trailer that's designed with ground clearance. Let's put this up and go around. We're on the tongue, and again, everything is super robust. And right now it's been in the sun, so it's a little bit hot. They have great latches on these. I've removed most of these pins from the rest of the latches, but they have these nice retention pins. They're kind of spring loaded. I'm gonna set these here. And we're just gonna take a look at the space and how high the access is. This one is really just a deep down. You can see my arm. My hand is flat on the bottom here, so it's pretty deep. And it's just an open bin. This one is set up for propane. I don't really typically store much of anything around my propane tanks, but just know that there's a spot for 2 20-pound propane tanks in there. If you are shorter than me, let's do that test again. I'm gonna squat down to maybe what I think of is average height. It's been a while. It's been like since junior high. So there we are. If I'm looking in here, it's mostly good, but I would have to tippy-toe, lean over a little, maybe not tippy-toe, lean over a little bit to see. I think it's all good, all good. The other side from this, way over here, is pretty much a mirror image, but it has spots, a holder for some jerry cans. I don't think most people are gonna have any problem with it. Whether they be extra fuel jerry cans or they be water jerry cans, good to go. I like the fact that they build it in and they give you that, prep. So let's head around to the other side and see what we have there. Okay, we're on the, I guess the road side, if you will. And this is the other side of that pass-through storage, and it's deep. At my height, it seems really good to see in there from a little bit further back. At standard height, you have the full view of it. This is a good, deep, finished out cabinet. Great, solid, heavy doors, and it has a nice seal around it here on this perimeter, but it also has a seal inside. So I would say it's kind of a double seal, almost double gasket sort of thing. And from a robust and weatherproofing standpoint, I like it. In order to get that to really seal up firm, twist those in, and it kind of pulls it in and really engages those seals. Like it a lot. Access to your equipment is not going to be that big a deal to anybody. Of course, your mains water inlet, your front water tank, rear water tank, and gray water, and then your hot and cold shower. And this heater rail is for the supplied outdoor shower room. Obviously, you have your bathroom on the inside, but maybe it makes sense to knock off the dirt and the grime outside. Well, look how high up that is. So I would say for someone full-size human such as myself, this is going to be a real good space. The shower tent is about 2.5 to 3 feet square from, if you're looking down from the top. So it has enough space. I've been in much smaller shower scenarios and it worked just fine. So really nice. And we're coming around, we're really about at the end of this. I'd really have access to the cassette toilet. I don't think that's gonna be a big deal to anyone. To a real short person, it might put that lifting point kind of above the belly button level. But most of us, it's gonna be right about mid-torso. For us taller guys, it's gonna be kind of right there at hip level where we grab hold of the handle and pull out, or we place it back in. Around here, now this is not necessarily the most fun of subjects, but MDC set these up to where they're easy access. If you should ever have a need to grab one of these full-size spares because some issue has happened in your travels with the tires that are on it, let's see how high up these are attached. This is a good height for me. I think it's going to be a little bit tall for someone shorter, but it makes perfect sense. You don't want them underneath the trailer where they can get hit or drug whenever you're in some more rough terrain. They're up a little bit so that if your trailer is tilted back, you're not going to have as likely a chance of them making impact whenever that trailer is kind of, I don't know, porpoising, but not like you would on a highway. More like just showing that tilt whenever you're traveling on that uneven terrain. So I do think this is nice that it is so very accessible. I think for most people, it's the right choice being high and out of the way, but you're gonna find it to feel, in those rare instances, a little bit tall. Is it a big deal? I think it's what you should expect when you have a trailer that is taller. And that's just it, and it's the trade-off. There's taller trailers for ground clearance, and you're gonna have to deal with the way that changes the setup, maybe the geometry and all that in some ways. Let me roll back here and let's wrap this up. That pretty much wraps it up for this video, and we do hope that it's been helpful. We realize that sometimes there's a question of, can you put someone a little bit taller in these trailers? Well, this is our attempt at making a what's it look like with Clint inside and outside the trailer sort of video. So do keep that in mind. We're giving it a go. If you would like to see more videos of what does it look like with a tall human in it, then let us know in the comments below. We'll try to get into a few more of these trailers and RVs at Princess Craft RV, just so you can see what it looks like with a tall-ish human inside of the space and how it might work for you. In the meantime, this has been a whole lot of fun. Again, let us know if this sort of video is something that's useful. If not, we will find other things to do. It has been a pleasure bringing you this video, and we will see you next time.